I'm aware that most of the speakers today are practitioners. We have Mike Smith, Ian Montague and Greg Davis speaking for us today. But I think there is a nexus between the academic work we do in this area and the practitioner work we do. As practitioners, you're generating understanding and knowledge. That's what we in universities do. We're all disseminating knowledge as well, and I think we can learn from each other in that regard.
So this Tiger Roadshow, as we call it, on trust and integrity in the global economy, have grown out of annual conferences that we've run on this theme at the Global Centre of Initiatives of Change in the Swiss Alpine village of Cologne in Montreux. And we're having our 10th anniversary conference this year. And we've had some very interesting people taking part. Kofi Annan spoke to us in 2013 and so on. And we've had business leaders from, and people from all sectors coming over the last 10 years.
FAIR in 1989 was an organisation which was begun by local people who were struggling. They were struggling to support and control their kids. They were struggling to find jobs. They were struggling to keep warm and dry homes. They were struggling to make any impact on what was going on in their lives. So some mums came to a friend and I and said, "Can you help us?" At that point, I had managed to drag myself out of the rubble from the place I was staying in, a dirty, stinking close, as we call it in the housing estate, and had managed to do something that was beginning to make a bit of difference, and folk saw me as someone who was able to help in one way or another. So a friend and I decided to try and get some funding, and we managed to do this. But what we decided was that we were also going to be looking forward. We are all forward-looking and forward-moving people. We don't walk backwards, so let's look forward, let's move forward. And we decided we were going to do something that was different. And that thing that was different was we were going to embed values and ethos and social justice and encouragement all together in the one room to support our community, because there were issues in changing things.
It was a chance for us to ask the question to real-life gang leaders: how do we prevent kids from getting into gangs, and what alternatives can we provide that stops the kids getting into gangs, but it's looking at that energy. What could we use that energy positively for? And the evangelised church in mind really is what prompted us to think, if you could capture that level of creativity, that level of genius, what could you not do? And a lot of it comes back to leadership. In 2010 we closed the circle. We held a conference for victims of street crime. It was much bigger than we anticipated. We had 50 or 60 gang leaders come to the gym, and when it comes to the victims of street crime conference 3 years later, over 300 people want to come to it. And we had some really, it's not right to say high profile people, that takes the shit, that just, it's not the right word to use, but people like Danagola Taylor's dad, Danagola Taylor's junkie that was murdered in London, Sophie Lancaster came in, and people, Helen Newland was now Baroness, she came, and it was much more intense and much more detailed than we ever thought. And that first closed the circle, and from then, the information we took from the two conferences was to develop an inner city cultural centre. Now, we made a bit of money from the sale of the security company. We've not done too bad at all. We sold it exactly at the right time. And I suppose what we became from then was a kind of scallywag, street-based business angel. So we were constantly looking for ways of capturing what is gang culture, capturing what energy it is that drives. Because to build and create a gang, there's a level of intelligence there, and if you can capture that creativity, that energy, if you can capture it and point it towards more positive, then it works for everybody.
Trust means loyalty. It means a very good understanding of who you're talking to, who you're dealing with, who you're working with, and who you're supporting as well. Trust is being able to rely on one another, to support one another, and feel very, very much at ease with it. It has an element of compassion and empathy as well, as far as I'm concerned. I was given the opportunity to attend one of I think the first Tiger Roadshow in the UK at Liverpool Hope University, and I must admit it was a bit of a life-changing experience. This is when, as a business lecturer, I realised that I had now to really fully embed business ethics within our undergraduate program, and for me it was not an option, it was already embedded obviously within the curriculum, but I wanted something more than that, and it became a core unit for all our second year students. It's a matter of awakening a little bit their conscience, and whether they'll do something or not with it is another matter, but I wanted an awareness about business ethics. They're the future leaders of our world, and this is something that will matter for us all, and especially for their generation.